Hey guys, hi, welcome back once again. My name is Vaishali, and today I'd once again like to talk about repair. Why repair once again? Because this very week I had two separate conversations with two people in two different age groups that talked of the same thing. So the last time that I had talked about repair, or rather repair, I had taken up my shoe as a metaphor to be able to address this particular topic. And when we actually talk of repair or repair, we are actually bringing about something new. We are changing the equation, exactly like we would do it with our rooms in our homes or with the paints on the walls. When we are trying to build in to create some kind of newness into the same atmosphere, there are times when we shift our furniture from one place to the other, where we rearrange our furnitures differently, to be able to create a different kind of a space, to be able to create a new kind of a space within the same walls itself. And while we are trying to do that, does that happen in one go? Quite likely not, very likely not. The process of us rearranging our own furnitures within the same walls also starts much earlier. It starts wherein we either become so fed up with the furnitures in the way that they have been placed for months and years together that we wish to rearrange them to bring about a certain newer kind of a life into experience, a certain newness to the space that we have ourselves created. That the space and the interactions within those spaces, even with the furniture and everything else that inhibits or inhabits those vicinities, those spaces, have become so predictable that they kind of start to feel a little stale, that they kind of start to feel a little stagnant. And that is when a repair, a rearrangement needs to be done, wherein our arrangement within our own spaces gets rearranged, gets shifted, and therein happens the change. So coming back to the conversations that I had earlier this week with people from two different age groups, one had a resistance to change and the other was quite curious about change or the repair or the repair. So one person was in my age bracket, in the age bracket of 40 to 50 years old, and they of course looked like this. This person had worked really hard and even smart in order to build this kind of an image. And of course, rearranging or repairing or repairing or any kind of a change becomes supremely difficult or becomes too uncomfortable when we want to move from this to this. After all, there's a part of us that is in resistance, that's bound to be in resistance to the image that now we wish to deconstruct, to reconstruct. There's a part of us that invariably struggles and questions, after all, I've taken so long to build up this image. After all, I have presented this image. Should I let it go so easily? What did I work so hard for if I had to let it go any which ways? Is it worth giving up this image? Is it worth all the hardships, all the efforts, all the sacrifices, and all of the transactions, all of the gives and takes with regards to energy, time, money, every kind of investment that I had to make to be able to build this and now to let it go, to now create this? And then there was this another person falling in the age bracket of probably late teens to early 20s. This person, in fact, was more open to the idea of repairing and rearranging and changing, to creating something new, to creating something that they have not experienced before. And of course, someone from my age bracket can argue, of course they are more open to change. Of course they've not had that time and that kind of an investment to be able to build this. Of course they've not given that much of themselves to be able to create this. So it's quite natural that they would be willing to repair, rearrange, repair and change. And both those arguments are relatively valid in their own places. And then once again coming back to the analogy of rearranging our room and rearranging the interactions with our furniture, which after a while may start to feel stuck, may start to feel a little stale, may start to feel a little stagnant if they are not moved around, if the energies are not shifted, if the interactions are not renewed, are not repaired. And it's not going to be easy because it will require our time to firstly think as to how do we wish to rearrange the furnitures. It would require us to actually observe and look at our own spaces and places, to look at the walls that hold those spaces and those places, to see whether our furniture can move in what ways and how do we move them. Which means it would require not only our investment to be able to move those things around, but it would even require investment from our mental and physical faculties. It also means that there will be a few attempts. It also means that there will be a few head-banging moments also, wherein someone may agree and the others may not agree, wherein we would feel like giving it up as if we've done enough, as if just let it go. And we would want to slip back into the familiar, which was kind of known to us. It would be easier to do that. And maybe repairing, and rearranging may take a few days, may take a whole lot of few hours. It may not be very comfortable. It may get tiring as well. It may get mentally, emotionally, and physically exhausting as well. And we always have the choice to stick to what we had built so hard to create, which looks like this. Or we also have the choice to repair, to rearrange and recreate something new. Being quite aware and mindful that all of that process needs time and investments, need thinking and rethinking, editing and re-editing, pairing and repairing, arranging and rearranging. Being very aware and mindful that while that process is happening, it may not be pretty, it may not be easy. In fact, it may be everything but pretty, it may be everything but easy, but maybe worth our investment. Let's try and think a little bit about that a little more. Let's try and see whether are we worthy of our reinvestments, whether are we willing to recreate and recreate a newer version for ourselves, within ourselves and within our interpersonal interactions. Are we willing to recreate a newer image for ourselves? Or are we being run and defined by the image that we have worked so hard to create? Not an easy decision to make, not an easy choice, not a pretty one and not an easier one also, but maybe worth reflecting upon. Let's try and do that for ourselves, and I will see you once again the next week. Till then, stay tuned in. And guys, if you do like the contents of my videos, please do like, share and subscribe.